Hey everyone, welcome to the Community Corner. My name is UG Jelly Knees, and joining me today is UG Skifter. How you doing, Skifter?
I'm great. How are you, Jelly?
I'm doing fantastic. Happy to be here, giving more information to the community, which is the point of these community corners. We want to
This
give
is
you
true.
guys as much information as possible, as directly as possible. So we're going to be doing these community corners twice a month. One will be pre-recorded, and the other will be a live community corner. So we will be able to answer questions more directly, and that'll be more of a Q&A session than anything.
Yeah.
But in this community corner, Skifter, what are we going to talk about? What are the different things that we're going to go over here?
So we got testing updates. We've been testing for the past like 3-4 months now. So we have updates on that. We have some bloopers we're going to show you from testing. And we have the Q&A session at the end, which is kind of where you have questions that we picked up off Discord and we're going to answer them.
Yeah, and it's going to be great. But let's start with the Patreon. Like Skifter said, that is live today. There is a link in the description so you guys can go out and join the Patreon. The Patreon will have 6 different tiers, ranging from $5 a month to $100 a month. Going over to our $100 a month tier, I'll go over all the different rewards you can get for being a part of that tier. So starting out, you get to earn towards our cumulative rewards, which we'll explain a little bit further about how that works in just a minute here. But the big thing is that you guys are going to get Patreon newsletters. These newsletters will be early access to information that the other members of the community won't quite have yet. You guys will be able to see whether it be new themes or new announcements that are getting made. You guys will get first access to those things before everybody else. You'll also be given a voting power, essentially, of what's going to happen in certain aspects of the game. We're going to be doing bi-monthly Patreon polls. What these polls will do is that you'll be able to say, let's say we want a Leah skin. We're going to ask you guys, out of these 6 concepts, which Leah skin do you guys want to see first or want to see most? You'll be able to select Vampire Leah out of that list, and then that'll be the skin that then is focused on for her as the next skin in her line, which will be a great thing for you guys. It helps us make decisions. It gets you guys involved in development. Overall, it should be really fun for you guys to be able to participate in those polls.
Yeah, we want to be super hands-on. So
Absolutely. So you're also going to get a unique Discord role for backing that tier. So your name will be turned to purple. You'll be notified as an undying Patreon supporter, and you'll be slightly separated out from the rest of the members of the community in our Discord. So if you're not part of the Discord, make sure you go join that and tie it into your Patreon so you can connect the two things together.
is there a pink roll, Jelly?
I wish there was a pink roll. We'll have to get
Wanna
one
match
made
your
for you
sweater.
guys so you all can be part of the sweater squad and join the Jelly Knees army right there.
The Jelly Knees Army.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
you're going to need it leaning against me.
Another thing we'll have in the Undying tier is you guys will get directly a pre-alpha access key just for backing that tier. So you'll be able to use that to get in the pre-alpha when it releases. You'll also be given a voucher for a t-shirt. So when we launch our storefront later on this year, you'll be able to go in there, use this voucher to select any t-shirt you want. We're going to have a whole bunch of designs of different myths, different roles. We're going to have different everything in there.
A lot of options.
Look at it all in there, pick one you want, and then get that sent to you, which will be super awesome. So Skifter, the cumulative rewards, how do they work? What do you get for them? What are the different things you can do with that?
So yeah, the cumulative rewards are over time. They're if you want to back the $20 tier but still want access to the bigger, higher tier rewards, it's just going to take you more time. That's all. So these are a lot of the same rewards from the Kickstarter for any of you that recall those. So on there we have everything from Bloodshot Dante, which is now the Patreon exclusive skin. It is $60 total. So if you do, 12 months of $5 each, you'll get Bloodshot Dante. It just over time you'll get access to these roles or these rewards. The other thing we have is name and credits. We have a lot of different things. I'm not going to go over every single thing. We also have a plethora of myth pack or ether crystals rather. We do have the myth pack on there as well. We also have an additional thing on the higher tiers, which is called a premium myth pack. We have added an extension of the myth pack. For those of you who remember, the regular myth pack was every myth you get it on release forever. With the premium myth pack, you get the myth on release and their release skin forever. So super huge value there. Another thing that we have added per community feedback is friend keys. We have added the option and the opportunity to get friend keys. So that was a huge thing that people were asking during the Kickstarter was, hey, where's the friend keys? Where's the friend key? And there they are. We have added them. Another big thing is a metal print. It's a metal poster. We still have the other posters, regular paper posters, but now we have added a metal poster. It is a 2 foot by 3 foot massive poster. It is so cool.
They're so cool. Owen has a few of them. They are beautiful, and I'm definitely gonna have to pick one up. There's no question there.
Yeah, no, I'm already getting one in 100%, guaranteed. So they're pretty good. They're really high quality. They're really good. I like them. The last thing, which is on the highest reward tier of the cumulative rewards, is your name in the game in some way. It can be an item, it can be an effect, it can be a buff. Somewhere hidden in the game, your name will exist for everybody to see forever. So I think that's pretty value with all that stuff all put together.
Absolutely. And I mean, like, we've got an example of that already in that one of our jungle camps is named the Skifters after somebody on the UG team, just some, low member, nobody important.
Yeah, nobody. That's why there's not a jelly camp, because why would they do that? Got him.
But guys, so our Patreon, there's been a lot of questions about how long the Patreon's going to last. And really, we don't want you to worry about that at all. The Patreon's going to last long through the initial development of Ethereal. We want to give you guys as much time as possible to back the Patreon, help support us, help make those decisions with those polls and all those things, but also so you can accumulate those cumulative rewards. They're there because we want people to get them. We want you guys to be able to access those as much as possible and get those rewards for being so supportive this early in development of Ethereal.
Yeah,
so we really
want to reward the support for sure.
Absolutely. We really appreciate you guys for backing the Patreon, helping us out, and we want to reward you guys as much as possible with that. So yeah, Patreon's going to last quite a long time. You don't have to worry about that too much. But the next thing we have, Skifter, is talking about testing and like the updates we've done, bringing on new testers, all that kind of stuff. So walk us through that.
Yeah, so as some of you may have remembered, we put an announcement out a couple weeks ago asking for people to apply to be internal testers. We have finished our first rotation of adding people to that. Feel free to still apply. Go to the announcements channel in the Discord, scroll up a little bit, you'll see it. Feel free to apply. If you have applied in the past, we still have your application. You don't have to do it again. In fact, I don't think you can. But feel free to apply if you haven't already. We'll keep the application. We're probably going to do another rotation and bring in more people. So feel free to keep applying. And if you already did, we still have your application. You don't have to worry about that at all. We have a new HUD.
Oh, the new HUD is incredible. So you guys with the gameplay, you saw with the Talos gameplay, the HUD, the old HUD was there. It was fairly boxy, took up a lot of screen real estate, and just made it hard to see what was going on the map, and kind of made it, the clarity was just overall not there. So we updated the HUD from top to bottom, and even added in like a buff and debuff bar, which I'll talk about in a second there. But our new HUD is a more open design. It's a lot smaller on the screen, doesn't take up nearly as much space, but still gives you just as much, if not more, information at the same time while having all of those changes. On the left side of your screen, we have the buff debuff bar, which will tell you exactly what's going on. So if you get stunned, for instance, then you'll be able to see what stunned you, how long you're stunned for in a red little box on the side. But if you have an empowered basic attack for the next 5 seconds, you'll get a green little box on the side that tells you have an empowered basic attack. So very nice for clarity, gives a lot of feedback to the players, and lets you know exactly what's going on and how long it's going to go on for. So overall, a much needed improvement, but a very, very good one that we've already got implemented into the game.
Yeah, information is always good.
Absolutely.
From a player perspective.
So Skifter, we went through recently and did a massive overhaul of the economy and some of the items. Walk us through what changed, how it works, all that good stuff.
Yeah, so the original reasoning we went and updated the economy, I'm not going to go in crazy detail, but I'll give a general brief overview. We wanted towers and objectives to feel worth something. They weren't really worth anything before. We wanted them to feel worth something. So we added more gold cost to them, but without making the game just straight up faster, you have a give and take that you kind of have to do. So we had to take from the early game, give to the later, mid to late game, without making it like oppressive. Like you had to get to the late game. We still wanted the early game to mean something. So we completely redid the gold values on just about everything. The other problem we were having was junglers were just able to like power farm and end up drastically ahead of everybody. Like you could start and just do one full rotation of camps and invade, take the enemy junglers' camps, and back at like 6-7 minutes with a full tier 3 item.
Absolutely.
It was ridiculous. So we tuned all that stuff down, but as a result, we also had to redo the items. So what we ended up doing is we ended up redoing all the stat to item costs, stat to gold costs rather, and coming up with new value for these stats. So the cost of physical power, the cost of lifesteal, the cost of mana. We went through everything and reevaluated everything, and as such, rebalanced our items. We rebalanced the gold cost on them, the stats that they give. You will also notice soon, not today, but soon, we have some new items. We have some items we have deleted, reworked, the whole 9. So it's completely changed and shuffled around. Overall, a lot of good changes that were positive back so far on them.
Absolutely. And that kind of ties in with the other general balance that we've been doing already. And when we first started testing, sometimes you'd get hit with an ability and it would take half of your life in one go. And you're like, yeah, that's a tad strong, let's just gut it and take it down.
Especially when it's Marina. Yeah.
But the big thing that we've done over the several months of testing is bring that more to an equilibrium state and bring them all much closer together, make all the abilities have their defined weaknesses and strengths. And we're really reaching that point where we're doing really fine tuning on each myth now to bring them all in that kind of desirable equilibrium line that we've set for ourselves, which is really great to see. And will make it a better game for you guys when you get access to the pre-alpha as well.
Yeah, so sometimes it's going to be completely broken, and then we have to balance it. I mean, It probably still will be, but, it won't be as bad. But I'm sure somebody's going to find some weird mechanic, some weird interaction. We're like, yeah, no, that's not intended. So it's going to happen.
Absolutely.
It's going to happen.
I don't doubt our community at all to find the weird interaction.
No, not at all. Another thing you guys will have noticed is a lot of visual effects changes.
Mm-hmm.
Everything from portals to Marina, if you were paying attention to the Kickstarter, to the Wyvern buffs in the most recent videos. Jelly, do you want to talk about those?
Yeah, absolutely. So originally the Wyvern buffs were just kind of flames coming off of somebody in a orangish red or blue color, depending on the Wyvern that you took. Now they are actually definitive Wyverns that float around you in a circle, making it very clear to both you and the enemy team that person has fire or ice Wyvern buff. I need to respect them because of it. Right? It's a nice clarity aspect overall for everything. In addition, visual effects we've updated was the portals. In the Talos gameplay, there were no portals to take you to fire or ice lane. Now the portals have since been implemented. They are red for fire, blue for ice, or purple for void. We've got them coming out of the base, but we've also added portals down in void lane to help the junglers that can't fly rotate between those lanes a little bit easier without having to go back to base. So overall, really nice changes. The visual effects are great for clarity, make it really easy to tell where you're going and how it affects you, in addition to just the general gameplay improvements we've made with these portals as well.
Yeah, definitely cut down on rotation times, going from like the middle of void to fire for that fire wyvern. Rotating through to and from objectives is a lot faster with those portal additions.
Absolutely.
That some people may or may not have even noticed.
And another improvement that I know a lot of you have been asking about, and I want to give you guys an update for, is our mocap suit. So for those of you that may not know, we've purchased a mocap suit a couple of weeks ago, and we are waiting for it to arrive from the company. It should arrive actually sometime this month, which means we'll be able to get started on those updated animations, make them feel better, make them more clear, make them have a little more weight to them, and just overall improve the general feeling of the game by a lot. I mean, the new animations are going to be really great for the overall health of the game, I think.
It's going to allow us to push out more animations, better animations. Overall, the game is just going to feel a lot better, a lot more weighty. Telos is going to have some weight in his hands now.
Absolutely.
It's going to be good overall. I'm excited to come from that.
Definitely, guys, when we have more updates about that mocap suit and those updated animations, you can bet we're going to put out like a side-by-side where you can see the difference between the two things, and it's going to be incredible. I can't wait to show you guys. To kind of wrap up our testing section, we want to talk about some of the bloopers that we've encountered over the months of testing. And there have been many bloopers, guys, that have funny things that happen, weird interactions, all that kind of stuff. But we selected a couple here for you. The first one being what we affectionately call Shredder Talos. And what happened was Talos was able to spam his right click, which allowed him also to spam his basic attack. In doing so, he can swing his axe all over the place as many times as he wants and shred anything from 100% health down to 0. Towers, Atropos, minions, myths, doesn't matter. Everything's gonna die.
Just gone. Didn't matter. No items. Didn't matter.
Yeah, no, not at all. Shredder Talos, long live. I definitely never abused Shredder Talos in testing.
No.
Anybody that
That's why
accuses me is lying.
I wasn't Auron hiding up on a rock in that clip. No.
No.
Trying to get away. Don't ask how I got up there, by the way.
Exactly. So, Skifter, speaking of Auron, talk to us about what happened when Auron grabs another Auron that's also grabbing him.
It's just a nice hug, okay? They run at each other, they hug each other, and they embrace their inner Leah. They just drift away.
So which one's Aladdin, which one's Jasmine? Who's showing who the world?
Ooh.
That's a whole other conversation.
That's a whole other thing.
But our final blooper for you guys here is something that was kind of interesting that we stumbled upon, is you could drag minions from the lane into the Wyvern pit, and as long as you kept the aggro from the Wyvern on your myth, the minions would fight the Wyvern for you and eventually kill it. But when that happened, the buff wouldn't go anywhere. No team got the buff. The minions didn't suddenly get buffed. The Wyvern just disappears. That was that. It was just,
that should make the minions get the buff.
Yeah, it should be great. Do you buff your minions? 100%. Intended effect. Amazing. Right there.
Just keep that 1-2 minions alive for the rest of the game. Quality.
They get the permanent buff. All minions do an extra 3% damage right there. Be perfect. I love it. New feature right there, implemented.
There you go. Confirmed.
All right, guys. To wrap out our community corner, we always want to give you guys a chance to ask your questions, and we'll answer as many as possible. So starting out, this first one was asking about future myths that we haven't told you guys about yet. And we can't go into too much detail about this myth, but they are going to be a quadruped myth that is ranged as well. So usually when you see quadruped characters in games, they are usually melee because that's how it works. This one's going to be different, and it's going to have its own special flavor attached to it when it comes out. So we're super excited for you guys to get your hands on that myth when it happens.
It'll send some chills down your spine.
Ooh, chills, huh?
Ooh.
So, Skifter, something you and I have had many conversations about. Many more, I'm sure.
I know where this is going.
Is the lane structure. What do you think the lane structure is looking like? What have we seen in testing so far? How do you see it playing out for the community?
So yeah, for the duo lane, it's been hot topic where the duo lane is going, where the ADC and the support are going. Currently in testing, they are going in Void. That's just the most direct, just because we're going to let the community decide, really. I'm of the thought that it's going to be fire. Jelly's of the thought it's going to be ice, so we send them in Void, and neither of us win. It's fine. Realistically, the community will decide which one's better, whether it is Void, ice, or fire. The community will be the ones to decide when the game releases. We kind of have our different metas, not really metas, but different testing strategies that we're doing right now. But it's going to be up to the community, honestly.
Which I think is great, honestly, is that the community being able to decide the meta, figure it out. I'm sure they're going to come up with things that we never thought of, and it's going to blow our minds away.
Triple jungle confirmed.
Exactly. 5 Sky Slayers, no big deal.
Goodness.
We're going to go through, though, and another question is the ping system. Whether we're going to do like a VGS system or just a direct ping system, depending on which MOBA you're coming from. This is something we are actually actively working on. I can't give too many details about which direction we're going to go in yet, but as we know more about the ping system, we will be sure to let you guys know and even potentially ask for your feedback of what you want to see on there. I know the Smite players are wanting us to have like a Nico Ni cancel that interaction there. So it should be interesting to see which path we go down with all that in mind.
Yeah.
Skifter, spectator or replay mode? Spectator replay mode when, I guess, is the better question for you.
So realistically, not soon. We got some time on that. We want the game to be functional completely first. That's not the highest of priorities. We want the rest of the functionality of the gameplay, like the VGS system. All of those big quality things to be in the game before we start working on a replay system. and a spectator mode, stuff like that.
All right.
We want the game to look good and function good before we can go back and watch it.
Exactly. So content creators, you got to hold out a little bit longer before you can use that for your content. And even if you make a sick play, you'll want to be able to go back and watch those. So
Yeah,
the second,
we
again,
definitely know.
like
Yeah.
everything else, when we have more information about these systems for you guys, we'll definitely let you know. And Patreon gets to hear about it a little bit earlier, though. So make sure you're part of the Patreon. Wink, wink,
wink.
nudge, nudge. But a big thing that we've gotten several questions about is our item system. Why we went with a tiered item system versus a component item system. The big reason for the tiered item system is making it more accessible for the players. Ethereal is going to have a lot of different things for players coming from any MOBA that they have to pick up and learn and adjust to. And we didn't want a component item system to be another element of that. We wanted to keep it very straightforward, tier 1, 2, and 3 items, and that most often the tier 3 will have a passive that will give you an additional boost when you complete an item. Very straightforward, very simple, and then let the other aspects of the game kind of shine through and be more of the focus as well.
That's also why we added and separated the items into the sort of types. So you see the axes, staves, the spears. Each of those types of item gives a specific main stat. So if you need a stat, you're going to know exactly what kind of item you need to go for. And from there, you just pick the tier 3 that you want. And then you just go, tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, and you're good to go. Super simple, straightforward.
Yeah, absolutely. And another question with the item system has been items that modify abilities in some way. So I know other MOBAs have these items that can make your ultimate stronger or change your Q or whatever it might be. And these are not items that we have currently planned for Ethereal, but I wouldn't say that they're ruled out either. There's always the potential to add that in either in the items shop as a whole or for specific myths that maybe they have an upgraded item that they can get, something among those lines. Definitely a potential for the future, but no plans for that right now.
Yep.
So Skifter, class abilities. We talked about being able to climb, break walls, all that kind of stuff. What can we expect when those are implemented and how we expect the community to learn about those?
When Malaya gets her climbing, you can expect me not to hide in bushes anymore. Yeah, that was a... Anyways, once those get implemented, we will definitely be making videos for you guys, showing you like how they work, when they work, kind of the limitations on them.
Awesome. Yeah, they're all going to go up on YouTube. If you're not subscribed to our YouTube, make sure and do that now as well. And follow all our socials while you're at it. That's how you're going to get the majority of these updates, learn about them as quickly as possible, gain access to the pre-alpha maybe, and, other announcements may be coming in the future. But
Discord announcement.
Exactly. I think, Skifter, there's a bigger question that everybody's asked, UG members have asked, everybody knows this question. So all of you at home, say it with me. Ethereal when? Exactly. So Skifter, Ethereal when? What can we expect?
So we are still expecting a 2021 release. Perfect. We are still planned to release pre-alpha by the end of this year. That is still in the plan. That was the plan. That is the plan. We got it. We're doing it.
Well, guys, so that means make sure you are following all those places so you get that announcement of when the pre-alpha is happening as soon as possible. And who knows, there may be chances before the pre-alpha for something to happen that you guys gain access to. We can't say for sure, but following our social medias definitely helps you learn about those opportunities as they come up.
Discord announcement.
Well, guys, that's all of our Q&A questions we had for today. If you guys have a question you want us to answer, go in our Discord, go to the community questions tab, post them in there. We'll look through them. If we want to answer them on here, we will. Sometimes we'll answer them in the Discord directly, but please feel free to leave your questions in there. Again, UG Skifter with me here. I'm UG Jellyknees. We appreciate you guys for all the support and everything you've shown us thus far and the support you're going to show us in the future. Make sure you guys are ready for that live community corner going on later this month. We'll give lots of announcements about that before it happens, and we'll see you guys then.